on? Welcome back to Satisfactory. We got episode 46 today. Should be a fun one. Might be a difficult one. So we're doing quantum encoding, which I... So I'm kind of a science nerd in real life, and quantum encoding is basically quantum stuff. I guess to put it in a general term, quantum stuff is difficult to understand. I want to say the Chinese are kind of in the lead right now for quantum things, like quantum computing and whatnot. Basically, and I'm just kind of going off of like what I understand of it in the real world is quantum encoding is basically when you take old code and make it into new code, which I forgot what it's called, quantum computer learning or something like that. But it's basically the code that a quantum computer can read. I feel like that's kind of how I understand it. It is very complex, but so quantum encoding is a real thing, and it is kind of like a leading edge thing that we're doing right now to further basically speed at which we can do stuff. So there's a little science lesson for today. I probably didn't explain it very well, but it's very hard to understand. So I don't think we're going to need to know all that. All I know is we got 50 supercomputers in this video game that's going to let us unlock it. So that's what we're going to do. But yeah, I want to thank everybody for the support. It's been awesome. I love reading the comments. I don't think I got to the last day's comments. I think I'm only one day behind, so I'm doing pretty good. I'm going to try to get to those tonight. Yeah, I just want to say thank you, and it's been fun, and I think it's going to be a tricky one, but we'll see what we can do. I do have well, actually, let's get to the cue create for the day. The question to create interaction. That means absolutely nothing. What was your favorite subject in school? Being that we're kind of getting all sciencey, I liked Phi-Ed. Like that was probably my favorite. I was a big I was the stereotypical jock, like obviously I played baseball and all that. But then if you can't pick Phi-Ed, science was definitely my favorite. I love astronomy. I'm a big astronomy nerd. I follow a bunch of NASA scientists. I watch this one dude. I don't know where he's from. I don't know if he's Russian or what, but he basically I think he's a theoretical physicist that reads basically submitted papers, and it's super hard to understand, but he kind of like clarifies it in terms that normal people understand. So I like watching that guy. But yeah, I love space stuff. It's kind of like the final frontier. I want to work in like space security, probably because I liked Mass Effect. No, I was kidding. but yeah. Anyways, what's your favorite subject? That's mine. I love science and all that goes with it. I think that's maybe a big reason why I've really enjoyed this game so much. But yeah, what was your favorite subject in school? Being that we're getting all sciencey. I was gonna show everybody where I was standing. I do have the nuclear pasta being prepped. I think I about got enough stuff for it. You've probably noticed that the episodes for Satisfactory, they're not every other day anymore because I just can't get enough time to do the stuff because it takes a long time. I've gotten much more efficient, and I'm going to show off all of that before we get into our quantum encoding, but yeah, it's still taking quite a bit. So here's what I did, and I gotta find. So I did this kind of late one night. Actually, let me put on this. So I created a bypass system, and I know it looks kind of funky, but it's kind of hard. I gotta map it out a little better, because I have it so it looks clean over here, and I like the way this looks. But over here, you can see it's just, I haven't figured out an easier way to do it yet, but it's basically two programmable splitters that are doing quite a bit. And what they're doing is they're setting up a bypass system. So both of them are taking stuff from the second floor and the first floor. They're programmed to send it to the bottom, which puts it in the first line, or to the top, which is setting up, which I set up a bypass for, right? So now basically that line right there is the new one. And that's bypassing stuff that doesn't need to go through the first floor, but can go up here. So it's either stuff that's being used up here, or stuff that's being shipped out, right, in our second assembly line over there. What would that be? Is that plant 2? Yeah, plant 2. Main plant, plant 1, plant 2. So that's been pretty nice, right? So you can see we're not maxing this out anymore, so we are kind of running at peak efficiency, which is nice. So basically all of our numbers should make sense, and now I can really kind of look at the numbers and see where we're short and see where we want to add things. So the bypass system is huge. It took me a while. It's hard to do this because I got, right, like I said, I got those two, and then they're both sending stuff to here and to here, and then it has to re-merge to get into the lines. So I don't know a better way to do it right now. I'll try to think of it to make it look a little nicer, but you know, it's getting the job done, and it's okay for now. But otherwise, yeah, I think that's about it. That bypass system, and again, I did it off camera and wanted to explain it because I feel like some of this stuff has gotten so confusing that if I do it on camera, I just feel like it wouldn't be very fun to watch because it's me mumbling to myself for like 20 minutes and checking and rechecking stuff over and over again. So, but yeah. Anyways, anything else I want to show? I don't think so. I do have 4 sloops on me. I do have the other 4 in a particle accelerator, which hopefully doesn't burn the nuclear area down. I do have that running a little bit more efficiently. If we have time, we'll get over there. But I think what I really want to do is I want to get this in. I want to launch this, and I want to look and see. So this is, I think, the last thing we need for our top fuel, which I know we don't need because we have turbo fuel and it works just fine. But I feel like just for like the series, it's kind of a fun thing to do to try to get everything. And same thing with nuclear power. We didn't need it, but it was a good challenge.
Milestone reached.
Hold on here.
This is not a competition, but other pioneers, such as 83CKY and U531355, had already completed project assembly by this point. Fix-It was obviously wrong about you, but perhaps so was I. Regardless, you have finally unlocked the quantum encoder, which requires vast fluctuating power and excited photonic matter to produce highly complex parts. Do not make the same mistakes managing the resulting dark matter residue as you did other byproducts. Project part number 11, the AI expansion server, is now your highest priority. Galaxy-wide project management is taxing to even the most advanced among us, especially those who have to manage the less advanced. Like kittens and puppies, who are definitely still waiting for you to save them.
Oh man, that story stuff's good. I like the writing. Okay. Oh yeah, my button pressing. I'm probably gonna do that a few times. My apologies, but I've been playing so much Icarus lately that I'm kind of used to those buttons now. Man, which if you haven't checked it out, the last episode, I was up till like 4:30 in the morning doing it because Zelda wanted a greenhouse, and I gave her a greenhouse. But man, that was it was a project and a half. But anyways, it was fun. It was fun. Okay, so I got all this crap right. Let's get an encoder up, and I want to see exactly what it's gonna do. So we need some turbo motors and 50 cooling thingies. Let's go do that. But yeah, I think that would be a fun... Oh, actually, you know what? Well, yeah, let's go look at it quick. I just want to get it up in my screen. What? I'm going to bypass the blueprint one for now, being that I literally haven't used the blueprints once. I'm sure they're cool and all, but I don't know. And I like the building in this game, so I don't really mind it. Because there's nothing here that's going to... Yeah, okay, so... Oh my god. 500 of those anyways. Yeah, that's going to take me forever. So this should be kind of the last thing we need. And it's got a bunch of weird crap in it. What are the 1,000? What does it need 1,000 of? Oh, okay, that's not too bad. All right. So we'll, I mean, I'll work on that, but I'm not too worried about it. I want to get this encoding thing done. Got to let the factory run a little bit more. She's definitely more efficient now. We are producing stuff at a much better rate. Ooh, look at this. We got a little bit of a slowdown here. I might have to upgrade all of our lines over here. I'll probably do that off camera. I guess I didn't really think of it. Every time I come over here, it's been kind of like pretty fast. But now that we are importing a bunch more stuff, yeah. And it looks like most of it is staying down here too. So yeah, we are a little slow. Okay. No worries there. I will I'll do that. Where's that copper wire going? Is that coming down here? Hold on, I just want to... I don't remember copper wire being somewhere. Cable... don't get hit by the train. Copper sheets. Is copper wire? Yeah, why is it staying down here? Alright, hold on. Let's check this out. Okay, so I have copper wire coming in. Why do I not have it going anywhere? Same thing. Oh, is this still stuck from... So I did have an accidental, when I was... The stuff might still be stuck. Okay, hold on. Let me fix this real quick. I did have an oopsie. When I was setting up the bypass system, I definitely switched to the left and center ports for like a minute, and then before I realized it, it was all jacked up. So what I might have is some of this residue just kind of hanging out here. Let me get this fixed up quick. So stuff is not getting centered there. Overflow. Where did all that stuff... I'm gonna have to look into this, but... So let me take this out. Because, yeah, we got concrete, metal sheets being brought over here. Not sure why. I'm hoping that was just where I messed up. But we'll leave it here for now. That should be okay. Alright. I was gonna say, I don't remember copper wire coming over. I think we have cable coming over. No copper wire. Alright, so that looks like that'll clean out the system hopefully pretty quick here. Okay, what do we got coming over here? Yeah, cable. Okay. So, we're looking alright. Nothing wrong with cleaning up a little bit. And then we'll get this encoder up. Let me just double check this. Make sure I didn't screw anything up. Right output, center output. That's kind of the tricky part. When this is all working, it's like super fine, but you know, like we had a slowdown there, and I usually don't have that, which means I'm thinking it was just left over from. Yep. So that's fine. I think it was just left over from when I accidentally switched the top and main line when I was putting them in there. Man, that sucked. It stopped everything. I was like, what is going on? And I looked and I'm like, holy crap, I put the top, or the center and the right output I put backwards. I need them to find... Oh, hold on, I'm looking at the wrong one. Yeah, wire, okay. Alright, so we should be good. Okay. So now I needed... What did I need? Before we got diverted there. I need to grab a couple turbo motors and some cooling stuff. Alright, that'll be easy. Yeah, it looks like we're going pretty smooth there. Now we're back to normal stuff. Alright, here we go. I'm always looking at stuff. I've been working on this quite a bit lately to get the right things here. And it's been pretty nice now because our nuclear site is much more efficient now. Alright, so I gotta stop getting sidetracked. I don't need them. I don't need them. There we go. Oh, no, I don't want to grab all of them. Let's grab 50 of them. Okay. And we should have a bunch of those cooling systems. Those are being made at a pretty good rate back at the, what is it, the nitrogen facility. Take that. All right, let's go over to our little, kind of been using like this roof as like my test center. But now we should be able to look at what's next. Spatial energy regulation. That sounds fun. We're not worried about those right now. Okay, so what do I make? Hold on. So what do I make my... Let's get my fuel here. Ionized fuel. Ionized fuel. Oh, it's just made in the refinery. Oh, that's right, because we got to get shards into it. That's right. That's right. That is going to be... It's going to be quite the challenge. I think I'm going to do a big import-export... Oh, a big import-export thing. So here's the... Yeah, here's going to be the difficult part. And I want to say I'm probably going to do everything over by the nitric acid facility, and I'm going to have a shipping and receiving part there with drones, which means setting up drones here for sure. We're also going to have to look at those crystals. All right, so let's get one of these bad boys up. I want to see... Holy crap, this thing's way bigger than I thought. Oh my god, this thing's way bigger than I thought it was going to be. Can I put it anywhere in here? There we go. I just want to look at it. I thought this was going to be much smaller. I thought it was going to be like the size of that. All right. Well, this thing looks sick. That's cool. The more advanced machines do seem really cool. What kind of... So it's got an out and a liquid out. And then it's got three ins and a liquid in. Okay, that makes sense. So I gotta put... Oh, man. Superposition oscillator. Dark matter residue. Fixonium fuel rod. Oof. So this takes... Oh, man. This stuff takes a lot of things. What do I do with this dark matter residue? Cost. So what do I turn dark matter residue in? Because it's got to go somewhere. Interesting. 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 Let me think here. What else would we be... So we got to make these. Which means we got to make those crystals. Yeah, this is one of those things where now I gotta try to find all the lines, like the assembly lines of where everything's coming from. Depending on how much of this stuff I need, this stuff might be like a manual. If I need this stuff, I just might make it, because there's such a range of crap that's going into these. What's that one? That is... Okay, that's the photonic matter. That's a big one. That one's... Where's that come out of? Okay, let me look at my recipes here. Photonic. Alright. Yep. Converter. Wait, what? Quantum encoder, blender. Can I make another one of these? I'm probably missing all sorts of stuff. Yeah, let's go look. Let's go look down at our... I'm gonna switch my stuff around here. Let's go look at our converter. I want to see how this photonic matter gets made. Oh, buddy. This is another doozy. Trying to learn what's going to be going on here. So, we're going to need a converter. Right now we have that making our ingots. Excited. Produced yeah, nice. Okay, so I can just, like, straight up make that stuff. What is this? Where am I inducing intense focus? It doesn't have a cost. I'm very confused. All right, let's see. So this is fixed site ingots. So we'll remember that. But if I go with this, oh, what the crap? Ah, what's going on? Where is that going? What did it just turn into that? What? I'm so confused. 19 and 4. Oh, is it using a... It's not using a power shard, right? Okay, that uses that. So I get that one. I have no idea. What's it making it? What's it making it out of? Huh. Right? Because it's not using any of that stuff. Huh. Okay. Maybe I just have to have one? I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right, so that's how we make that crap. What do we want to do? I want to say... I don't know. Let's go look at our cubes. Maybe we can run over to the nuke site. I'm wondering... I kind of want to get some of that fuel set up. Man, that's going to be such a pain in the butt, though. What was I making here? Radio controllers? No. Oh, yeah, that's right. They're done here. These take forever to make. Yeah, we're still humming away at those. Let's go drop some of these off. And make sure the place doesn't burn down when I use this. And then we will... I'm going to have to collect my thoughts for a second to see what we want to do next. I might run over to that fuel facility. And maybe we'll drop stuff off and we'll start... I don't think we're going to finish it today, but maybe we can, like, start getting our ionized fuel going while we're kind of waiting on some of this other stuff. What did I come over here for? Oh, yeah. Gotta sip my coffee. Let's go check out the nuke site. Then I can show everybody... I mean, and I didn't make any, like, crazy improvements or anything, but... basically, I just kind of did some adjustments on the math. And it was pretty easy. Basically, what I did was I upped the power to max of our first uranium reactor, which produces more stuff for our plutonium reactor, because we were running a little bit short there, and then I think I just had to adjust that building right there, but we'll go through it. Yeah, you can see they're both kind of running. Let's see, how are we looking here? Yeah, we got plenty of fuel rods there, which we're just eating that radiation, love it. So you can see we're not getting a ton of plutonium fuel rods, but it is going faster now. Like, see, we're almost making another one, and I haven't had any, like, really stored yet, so we're gonna be pretty close to getting that up and running. What are we using? This should show me the fuel, actually, because these are going 0.25, which I think we're still idle for a little bit, but we're probably catching up faster. Yeah. Okay, so we're getting there. We're getting there. Let me see what this goes into. So this eats up 0.1 a minute. So yeah, if we can get that up, even the idle bit here is fine. I'm gonna have to let it kind of settle for a little bit. I just changed this before I started the episode, so we're making. Yeah, the slower part was back here. I wasn't getting enough waste back here, but it looks like we're running a little faster here now. So I'm gonna let that go, but yeah, really, here's the good part is I sharded this to the max, which gives us 6250 fuel here, or mega wattage of juice that we can use, and it's also making more waste, which is actually what we needed to get those going. And then we're getting We're getting enough here, so I did make a big change to get more of these in. That was kind of those outposts. That was like the big reason for that. That was our real shortcoming in the nuclear side. Now that we're getting that in, everything else is kind of like working very well. One of the, and it's kind of confusing, but one of the things I had to do is, and if you haven't been around in the last few episodes, this is probably going to be kind of hard to understand because there's a lot going on here. But basically, once stuff gets to this machine that's making our plutonium fuel rods, those electromagnetic control rods, what we were running short on, I was actually kind of full on there. And reason being is I kind of ran out of room. So you know how I usually like to have the like the storage right there that leads into a machine, but I just didn't have really room for it. So those electromagnetic control rods were coming here. We weren't using them fast enough. They were going into here, and they were being sunk. So what I did was I put a programmable splitter up, and I'm basically putting them back in the line so that those can't get split. So they get merged back with our stuff initially coming in. So then instead of getting sunk, they can come over here, and that helped out a ton. So you can see we're doing really well now on that. Okay, enough. It's so much. I know the brains are melting. It gets confusing. But yeah, so that's the nuclear side of things. Those are the updates. So we're running much more efficiently. Ideally, I would like to get that plutonium one up, but I got to kind of let everything settle first. We'll see. All right. Again, this is very, very temporary. This is just my copper powder, which is feeding into here. And this is our area for... Did I bring... Yeah, I was going to say, I'm almost positive I brought those things over. All right, let's make sure this isn't going to burn down. What is it going to go up to? I just want to make sure that we're... and of all the tips, I remember now that I can use this. That's why I put one so close. All right, because we're quad slooping here. This thing already takes 1,500. When I had it all maxed out, I think it took like 20,000 megawattage, which like ate into my batteries. So if this eats into my batteries, a little bit of fine, but just want to double check before we do anything crazy here. Really like the animation for this thing, by the way, if you haven't seen it. Pretty freaking cool. Alright, so we're at 1,000 right now. So if it goes up to 2,000, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, it looks like that's about what it's going to go up. That's not too bad. There's no way it's got to go higher than that, right? I guess slooping doesn't take as much as the power shards. The power shards must be the big culprit of making things use more juice. So I know this probably isn't the most exciting thing, but I just want to make sure the place isn't going to burn down before we go do anything. So what are we at? 1250 over 1250. Okay, yeah, so I guess it is going to be about 2,000. That is A-okay. I'm going to let the, it'll take a little bit longer, but we'll be getting our pasta out of here. So maybe the first one... Oh, yeah, the first one's... That's interesting. The first one still ran without the sloops. Okay, so 6,000. Yeah. I think we'll be fine. It's gonna have a very difficult time because a lot of machines, it's very rare that almost all of them are running. So I think we will be a-okay there. Let's get up a storage container. I know this doesn't look great, but the ultra temporary. All right, we'll get our nuclear pasta in here. Then we'll let this bad boy run. Should go up to 6, which is fine. Alright. I'll keep an eye on it every once in a while just to make sure we're not doing anything too crazy. But now what I want to do is... Where's the train? Is the train here? Just gonna go hang out in this reactor. Nuclear reactors, by the way, are super cool. So that crap that's coming out of there, like, that's like steam. I don't know, at least the ones that I've been to didn't really look like that. They had a, you know, the reactor's kind of inside like this giant cube of a building. And then basically the steam goes out. Well, I would say the steam was I don't want to say 500 meters. It was a few hundred, yeah, maybe about 500 meters away from the actual reactor. So it's a pretty big thing. Well, I think we should go over and start looking at our fuel. I might do a cut here because it's probably going to take me a while to collect my thoughts. But I do like the trip over here. In case people haven't seen what everything looks like, it's looks nice. I wish I could get those out of the way though. That's my only it's the only sad part for me. The bridge looks sweet. We'll definitely do more decorating and making stuff look good. But yeah, our nitrogen or our nitric acid area is down here. So let's go take a look-see at what we're all gonna need. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do a cut. I think I'm gonna like get stuff set up because otherwise, it's gonna be. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a lot of foundations. I'm gonna run them over here, and then I'm gonna probably use like this area, this whole area, this like big area right here. I'm gonna probably turn into our ionized fuel area, which I hope I don't regret this, but I think it's gonna be pretty difficult, but I guess we're gonna see if we can do it or not. So let's give me a minute. I'm gonna start setting this up. I'm gonna start placing things down, and then if I find, I don't know, if I can find a spot that's kind of interesting, you know, I'll bring everybody back for that. Otherwise, once I think I have most of the stuff down, we'll kind of go from there and see how close we'll be able to get to it this episode. Well, I think I have the bone set up. I haven't gone through any of the math. My brain needs a vacation from this game. You can see we got a lot of crap set up. I went through a lot of resources to this. Some of the stuff isn't very cheap. I'm still perplexed by this thing. I guess it just pulls that crap out of thin air. I have no idea. I might have to look into that a little bit more. But let's look at our chain. So I'm gonna have a port over here, kind of a port import export area. We'll get that set up. I might do that off camera. So I feel like we've seen that quite a bit. So here's where it starts. So we got to get the turbo fuel over here. So we're going to have another port set up at our main base, which is fine. We're going to have to get a couple things over here from a couple different areas. Turbo fuel, easy. We're probably going to have to go over here a little bit. And I left the space over here because there's a lot of logistics that's going to happen over here, and I'm going to have to sink some stuff. For example, like the empty canisters, because we're not going to be reusing those. So the turbo fuel is going to go into here, and the nitric acid as well. So I'm going to have to pipe the nitric acid probably around, like, I'm planning on this outside kind of being like a kind of a logistics area, but we'll get turbo fuel going in there and nitric acid. That's going to make rocket fuel and compacted coal. That'll come out of here. The compacted coal is going to get sunk, and the rocket fuel is going to come out. Now the rocket fuel can go into here, right? So for the ionized fuel, we need the rocket fuel. So now we've got the rocket fuel. The power shard, then, that's what this giant setup is. Synthetic power shards are very expensive to make. So to make the synthetic power shards, first, this is, I guess, the first thing, right? So this makes the power shards. So that's kind of where I started. And I need the excited photonic matter, which, again, apparently it just makes that out of the air or something. I guess, I mean, it it turns air and it uses something with the photons to, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But that's there. The quartz crystal we will port over, as well as the time crystal. No problems there. And then the dark matter crystal. So the residue here, so the excess dark matter residue is going to get pumped into here, along with diamonds, another thing that we're going to port over, and that's going to make dark matter crystals. So our product here is going to be dark matter crystals, and what I'm going to do then is I'm going to bring those all the way back to here, and then those will get... So basically I'm turning that residue into the dark matter crystals that this thing is going to use. So that should make our power shards. So we'll combine the rocket fuel with the power shards. We'll sink the excess coal. The ionized fuel that comes out of there is then going to get packaged and shipped back to my base where I can use it. I maybe eventually, if we get this really efficiently running, we can use it for the drones. I have a ton of batteries. The drones are kind of okay. I think I know they fly a little faster with this fuel, but I'm not worried about that yet. The main thing is just the challenge of getting this dang thing set up. So we're not going to get it set up today, but the rest of the episode, here's one of the things I'm going to need to bring in that I'm not doing right now, and that is empty fluid tanks. So we're going to run over to our aluminum factory, and we're going to try to get that done to finish up the episode. And then next episode, we should have everything we need. So it'll be all about getting the logistics of just everything we need over here. That'll be next episode. I did set up a little main cannon here. Let's go over to our aluminum facility, which would be... I think that's the main one, right? Yeah. So again, I'll probably... I might redo this drone system. I think this is like the very first one we set up, so it's kind of... You can see it's a little different than what we have normally set up. I mean, I guess it's fine. Really, I just have this one, and then we'll put one over here, and we'll do it kind of like the setup of all of our other ones. But for right now, this is fine. I'll work on that probably between episodes, and it'll just be set up the way all the other ones are set up. Holy butts. But what I want to do now is I want to get our things. What are those things called? The fluid tanks. I want to get fluid tanks set up. So I know this... We haven't checked this out in a while, man. I was thinking about that the other day. If something like broke down at one of these places, I haven't been here so long to like check on it. Once it was kind of like running efficiently, I've kind of just been like, all right, it's good. But what we're gonna need now, and then what is this? So this is a splitter. And that's a splitter as well. I might split them here and put up a constructor to make, and then we'll put another thing up there, and we'll just kind of send everything up in the air over to our kind of our storage area right there. I think that's going to be the easiest way to do this. So let's look at our numbers right now. So this is taking 90 ingots, and this is taking 30, 120. How much are we producing? Right now we're producing exactly 120. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, I kind of have it set up to where, ooh, it does run idle a little bit, which means our silica is a little slow. 150 silica? How much am I... Let's see what I'm getting out. It's been so long since we've been over at the aluminum facility. 50, 100, 150. Okay, so is one of these running a little slow? Should be. Looks like we're... Yeah, we shouldn't be running idle anywhere. Let me double check these. I wonder if this... Looks like we're pretty good. Oop, I want to flush anything. Let's see. Yeah, over here we're getting enough too. Okay, maybe... I guess I'm not quite sure. I could sloop one of these just to make sure I'm getting more silica. What's the solution go to? The solution goes over to these, right? Yep. Which we're already getting a lot out of there. Okay. I guess I'm not too worried about it. I'm gonna maybe adjust that with like a shard on one of those if I need be. I think what I'm gonna do to make this easier is I think what I'm gonna do is sloop this, which will get us more aluminum ingots, and we'll split it there and send it over there. So let's put up our constructor. Let's just see how this is gonna look. Might not be too bad. I wonder if maybe I'm gonna set this up first. How do I have these set up? Just in half there? Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have to adjust that then. Which is no big deal there. And there. And then we're gonna put a storage container here. Middle. Okay. And then let's do... See, that's just our merger. What are we running here? These are all 5s. Okay, so this shouldn't be too hard. Let's just adjust these real quick. I know they're not going to have anywhere to go for just a second, which is fine. So let's put our merger in the middle. And you're going to be going out that way. That should be fine. And then we'll... Oh, hold on. Let me hop down here. That'll come out from there. That'll go through there. And you're going to go through... Why? Did I set this up the wrong way? No, I didn't. I'm stupid. Okay, you go there. And I want you to go in. Wait, did I put this? I might have this backwards. Yep, okay, I have this one backwards. Oh, man. You know, it's not like I've been playing the game for like 100 hours. So we're actually going to do it this way. There we go. Now, that should work like a charm. Imagine that. When you put stuff the right way, it works. And then... just do that. Alright, get all of our stuff back shipping out. Okay, so that's set up. So now what I can do is it looks like... Oh, and I did do it that way. Okay, so if I do... I guess if it kind of curves, I'm not super worried about it. So I can do my constructor out to there. And let's get... So you're going to go out this way. I want it back one? Should be okay. I don't know the height. Let's go with our what's it called? Slider thing. Okay. Yeah, it's not nearly high enough. Alright, let's figure this out here. So we're gonna do you up to... looks like we got it going to about there, maybe there. Let's try that. How long? Too long? Yeah, of course you're too long. Alright, no worries. What we can do is let's put up a pole here. And then I should be able to see where it's straight on. We'll do 2. That should be fine. Okay, I'm going to get you going to there. And you going there. Alright. Yeah, it looks good. Okay. So now... Oh man, that's right. I'm still using like crappy poles and everything over here. Let's get... How many do you have on you? You got one. You got room for one more. Alright, so now you should be up and running, and you're going to be making our bottles. Empty fluid tanks. 60 a minute I probably don't need. I should have looked to see what I'm going to need over there. I'm just going to kind of do the basic setup for right now. Aluminum ingots, 60 per minute. That'll work. Let's see now. So this is gonna pump out. So maybe I can just use. That's 240, which I don't need. Can I just do like? Let me just do one. So I do what? I put one there. There we go. All right, so that gives us the extra 60 aluminum ingots that we need, which can go into there and pump out our fluid tanks. Okay. Progress, progress. This isn't too bad. And then this splitter should be fine. To just get everything split up. And then if we run into like where there's more, right, that's why I kind of like these. It kind of just automatically handles the overflow and divvies it out. All right, so we are making fluid tanks. Yep, there they go. Now these fluid tanks. Why is the storage container empty? Reading is empty. What in the world? Oh, I'm shipping them already. Ooh, hold on. I don't have it set up to do that yet. So let me take that out. Hurry. Is there a drone there? I don't know if that drone just took fluid tanks. That's gonna mess stuff up back there. All right, let me grab those. Where does this go? This goes to the train, right? Dang it. I wish I wouldn't have done that. Now I'm gonna have to go back to the main base and make sure my... you know what? I might be able to catch them. Nah, I'm probably not. Well, maybe. I wonder if I can catch them on that train before they get on the train, if it did that. Here we go. Come on. Where's the train? Oh, I see it coming. Hurry. I know jumping down here kind of sucks, but it's going to save me a buttload of time. In case I got stuff in here. Yep, there they are. Let me grab those. Oh, okay. I think I did it. Is there any more? Okay, so I think I got them all. I think disaster averted. Yeah, I don't see. Oh god, I don't see anything on the train, so I think we're solid. It's just that would have clogged up that line back home, which would have sucked. Can I look in these as the train's going? I just want to make sure. Freight car. Yep, that looks good. That looks good. Okay. Why do I have so much in that first one? Interesting. I wonder if it like overflows it, but then yeah, it has nowhere to go. I don't know. All right. So we got all those. I guess now the problem is we're way back here. But that should be fine. Let's just go double check and make sure. So we should be making those fluid tanks now, and then what we'll have to do is set up another export that'll send it to the imports over there. Is this gonna get me high enough? Kind of. Alright. You know what we can do? I did see a slug. Where is he? There he is. He goes. I guess we're gonna have synthetic power shards pretty soon, so I don't really worry about it too much, but... Alright, let's see if where am I? I'm gonna find that. Okay, there we go. Alright, that wasn't too bad. Okay, so we're gonna let those accumulate in here. There we go. And that'll be fine. We'll get those used up before they kind of clog everything up. I don't know if I really have an overflow system here. Yeah. All right, I think that'll be good. So now what we got to do is just get our you know, our movement of those materials. So I'm gonna redo this to look like all the other ones, and then we'll put another drone port right there, and that will go over to the ionized fuel area. Holy cow! I think it's gonna happen. I think it's gonna happen. It's definitely gonna happen next episode, but I think we're looking pretty good. All right. So let's see. Let's sum everything up. Can we get over to the facility quick? I want to just go through everything one more time, and then we'll get a plan going for what we have to do next episode. Let's see if I can get over there. Oh yeah, I think we're gonna be golden. We're gonna have a pretty big like facility, kind of like in this area. Kind of got a lot going on, which is pretty cool. All right. Also, I want to check our power and see how that's looking. Make sure we're not... Okay, batteries are still at 100. Yeah, okay, I think we're looking pretty good. I think both of those nuclear reactors are going to be full-time now. We don't have to worry about them fluctuating on and off. All right, so this is looking pretty good. And like I said, I might... Just in case I need a little more space, I might build it out a couple more, and then we'll have our import-export stuff there. We'll set that up so that we can import from the main base and import from the aluminum area. And then I think it'll just be kind of a plug and hope it works. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. So next episode, that's what we got to look forward to. So I'm gonna get the airport import export area set up, so that's already good to go. And then what we'll do is I'll probably just set them up, and then on camera we'll go through all the stuff that we need to bring over here, and you know, get everything over here, plug it all in, and hope that it works. And then we'll have ionized fuel. So pretty crazy. It's I think it's gonna work. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but if I am, let me know. But I got a good feeling about it. We're gonna have some, at least for us, some crazy jetpack fuel. And then if it really goes well, maybe we'll switch the drones over to it. But I think the batteries are fine for now. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. If there's anything else you'd like me to do in the meantime, let me know. Otherwise, I think we got a plan for next episode. Should be a good one. In the meantime, check out the link for the Discord in the description. A lot of fun stuff going on over there. Otherwise, with all that being said, hopefully you enjoyed today's episode. Go out there and be a good person. It's not that hard, and I will see you on the next one.